And you know, people get down on the floor for lots of reasons. You garden, you do furniture, which is something I never would have thought of, but that's your thing. People have pets, they have grandkids, they have things to clean up, they drop something, they need to pick it up. You know, so getting up and down is critical. It's not really an option to just say, I don't need to get down on the floor, because it's not true. Using a prop to get yourself back up is a wonderful idea. You want to make sure that your prop is stable. So I do notice that the leg of this table is a little bit rickety, right? And so this might not be your best option for something to be using to get up. Now, Barbara's light, so this worked just fine for you. But if you were someone heavier or taller or bigger, so you want to make sure that you have something very stable to use to get up. I usually recommend to people the couch. The couch is your most stable piece of furniture, or a recliner is another stable thing, or a step, which I'll get to in a minute. But now let's say that you have no problems at all getting down and up on the floor, right? Well, why would that be? That would be if you're in tip-top condition, right, and you're down on the floor, let's say you're either kneeling or sitting. If you had enough strength and enough balance and had no issues with your knees or hips, you should be able to just put one foot forward, balance on your thigh, and stand right up, right? It's not as easy as it seems. So that's where the table or the prop comes in, right? You could use the table.
Excuse me, especially if the table happens to be near where you're down.
If you know that you're going to be on the floor, then having something nearby that you could put there especially for you would be great. Oh, look at this.
Yeah, we have help.
What shall I ask for next, Barbara?
Let's think of something good.
So if you knew that you were going to do a craft or work on furniture, you might want to have something nearby so that you knew you were going to have a stable object to help you get up.
Okay.
Again, the chair, the couch are all good options. In which case, the way that you did it is a great method where you'd be next to that object. You would put the opposite foot forward, which I believe is how you did it, because now you can have one hand on the object and one hand on your thigh, and then you get the leverage of both hands to bring the other foot under you and pick yourself up.
I'm not sure which one I use, but I think I'd like to try that, because I forgot that you can do this. I'll show you what I've been doing in a minute. Okay, here I go. Whoops.
So you want to be sideways to the object instead of facing it.
Okay, and
there you go. And then one hand on the thigh, one hand on the table. And flat, or doesn't make any difference, whatever's comfortable to you. See?
Yeah, knuckles is what I use.
That's fine. Whatever works for you.
Okay.
So that's one way to do it. But now, what if you've had a knee replacement?
Oh.
Right?
Yeah.
Well, so knee replacements are tricky because for some people they're just like regular knees and there's no problem, but for other people they're uncomfortable. So if you have a knee replacement that's not a problem, then you could use the same method, or maybe you could just put a pillow underneath the knee that had the replacement. If your knee replacement is not comfortable being on the floor, then make sure that you're using the leg that is not the knee replacement as the one that's on the ground, right? So you just want to go to the other side of the piece of furniture and use the opposite knee. So this is now my knee replacement, which doesn't have to be on the floor, and I get up. Okay?
Yeah. Okay.
So that's simple enough. But what if your knee replacement really hurts and you can't even put it on the floor? So this leads to a whole nother method, which would be the table, the chair. Like I said, for this method, I would prefer couch or chair, not even a table if possible. But you want to get to a position where you are seated because you really don't want your knee on the floor. And you're going to come to a sideways position. So let's say this is my knee replacement knee. I really don't want it on the floor. So I'm going to come sideways so that my good knee is down, my replacement knee is up. And instead of this knee going down, this knee is going to come off the floor so that I'm on my hands and my toes. And then I come up to a standing position. Now, if you watched some videos online, you see a lot of very young, fit therapists saying, all you have to do is get on the floor from a seated position, put your hands down, come onto your toes so that your knees never hit the ground, and then just walk right into your hands and stand right up. Right? Well, that's not really very logical or practical when you're older, right?
Right, and let me tell you, getting down on the floor, that's the first thing that I can't do. It's like, it really is hard.
So here's another method that is an excellent way to get both down and up. Let's say you have a lower step or a low bench. So this is a bit high, but I'm going to use it just for the sake of demonstration. If you have a step in your house, the bottom of a stairs, or a stepping stool that's very firm, you could sit like I am now and just lower yourself to the floor.
Oh, let me try that one.
Well, see, this chair is a little high. Let's say I'm sitting in front of a step now. Let's say I fall by accident on the floor and I don't really want to be there. I could, push my way over, crawl my way over in front of the bottom step if I have one, or a low stool if I have one, put my hands on that step, and then lift myself up. Now, this is much lower, right? Because we're talking about a step. Onto the bottom step. Then I put my hand on the next step, and I lift my butt onto the next step. So now I'm at a height where my legs are approximately bent like this. My feet are pretty much on the floor, and I can just stand up.
Yeah.
So
Good.
that's another very beneficial method.
I find myself, like a little while ago, I was sitting on the stairs over there, and I wanted to get up, and I found that I kind of turn
You
this
can do
way.
that too.
Yeah, to get up, hoping nobody's watching.
The one thing, though, that you really do want to think about is strengthening your upper body. Because if you do find yourself on the floor and you have to get yourself up and you need to either pull or push your way up, having strong arms and shoulders and back is going to help you.
Well,
Right? Even just to come up on a step like that, like I demonstrated it.
right.
So exercise is extremely important. Even if you say, I have a knee replacement or my hip hurts, whatever, you can always work other parts of your body that you're going to need to compensate, right? If you've ever been on crutches, you know that you're in a lot better shape if you have arms and upper body that are strong enough to use the crutches.